crew builders, welcome back to our second part of the Metal Earth Mars Rover Perseverance and Integrity helicopter. Look at that little guy. All right, now we're going to be moving on to our actual building of the Mars Rover. This guy is going to be very complicated. We have a ton of parts to put together, but these ones seem pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and start with part 9 here. Now looking at part 9, we can flip it over to the back and we can see these little marks here inside of the metal. That kind of gives us an idea where we need to bend everything. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take that right there. Boom. And then for this piece here, I actually went ahead and bent it on the other piece. This is another one down the way we're going to be bending a little bit later. Anything that's a little bit duplicate, I end up usually trying to bend ahead of time, just because, you know, you guys don't need to see repeat detail pieces. But this guy right here, we're going to go right to this little bit of detail and we're going to bend her down just like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we need to bring this part right here. Oh, let me bring it back over here. Bring this part right here. As I said in my last video here, I'm still getting used to the different ways that I am filming, so I'm trying my best to show more of the actual forming so you guys get a really good look at it, as opposed to what I did in the past where I had a more further away angle. I hope to in the future here to have a few more cameras too to make things even better. Okay, now that we got these two pieces here formed, what we need to do is put a little bridge between them. Let's grab part 10. And just like before, if we turn it over, we can see some perforated lines right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tweezers and I go right to those lines and I'm going to bend them up just like that. Just matching the borders every single time. There we go. One last one. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to combine these together. To make things a little bit easier, we could go ahead and pre-bend some of these tabs, but for right now, I'm going to see if I can get them in just as they are. Boom, look at that. Okay, now these are going to be secured with a twist. Let's bring my tab bending tool over here. Looking really good. Okay, now we can put the other half on there. You know, gloves aren't necessary to build these. Sometimes they do make things just a little bit harder. Other times they can help though. They help get that little bit of grip sometimes you need, but yeah, for the most part, they can actually be a little bit more difficult to build these models with. There we go. Last one. There we go. Nice. Okay. Oops, don't want to bend that like that. I was actually trying to bend this more down and I bent the middle there. Whoopsie. All right. That actually looks pretty cool. Now we can move on to a little bit more of a different kind of detail. We're going to be going to part 12. Part 12 is right here. Same thing as before. This one here needs to be bent into a cylinder. So let's use a cylinder tool here. This actually might be too small. Nope. It's just too big, which is good. Getting right to those edges like I talked about before. That's super important. And now what we're gonna do is bend this tab down like that. kind of bend this guy a little bit like that. And now we can bring these over and we should create like almost like a little lock. Oops, I missed, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, let me see if I can get my tweezers in here. If I get my other tweezers, those ones actually are a little bit better for this kind of maneuver, to be honest with you. Yeah, see, it's not... Okay. All right, where are my other tweezers at? I told you, sometimes some tweezers are better for other things. This one we're almost having to bend in, like see, they're in now. And what I'm gonna do is secure it with a flat little, there we go. Okay, and now we're just gonna work out the area here a little bit. And we're gonna work out these guys down here, because these ones didn't form with the other parts. So we're gonna have to work on them a little bit, but not much. That actually looks pretty good. Okay, there we go, cool. Now we can take this and we can place this, I believe, in the back here. These two are connected with the twist. Not too bad so far. Sometimes when we see a lot of detail, and I might be eating my words a little bit later, sometimes when you see a lot of detail, that can be a little bit intimidating. But when we start doing it, what you realize is it's not that the detail is actually that hard to do. It's just the layering. The layering can take some time. That looks pretty good. I don't like the way it's leaning though. I might have to fix that. And the only way to fix that would be to kind of work on these little guys down here. But I think once we have it all together, we'll have a better understanding of how it's actually supposed to look. So let's keep on adding more detail. The next piece we're going to be adding is part 13, which goes on the opposite side here. That's this little guy. And it gets bent in half right there. And now, before we actually bend it completely in half, we're gonna bring it over. I'm actually using my tweezers there right in the middle, if you can see that. I'm trying to bring it over here again, sorry. So you can see I'm right in the middle there. And now what we're gonna do is bring it over to this little area, because what I find is if you actually squish it, it becomes pretty hard to get it in there. So if you get one tab in like that, oops, well, you know what? Let's use our other tweezers here. I realize too that not everybody has the same tweezers, so getting some of these details into their spot might be a little hard. Just take your time, you know, no rush. See, if you squish it like I am right now, see, like it's kind of difficult to get in there regardless. So let's separate the tabs. Definitely one of those ones, once you get it inside, you don't want to like let go until you have it completely secured, because my goodness. Freaking right, look at that. Beautiful. Awesome. Now that we got that little bit of detail on, we can move on to part 14, which is a little cap here. Okay. Oops, got a little Mr. Boba hair there. You know, so again, it's kind of funny. I said in the last video there that my girlfriend brought her cat over for a little bit, and when he left, he decided to, you know, stay. It's kind of cool. Not complaining. I love Mr. Boba. If I'm not careful in the future, he'll end up being in some of the videos. Anyway, there we go. Cool. Number 14, pretty easy stuff to put on, right? Now we move on to 16 and 15. These are actually repeat details that I didn't preform. I probably should have. We're just making little triangles here. That little bit of bottom detail there doesn't really want to comply, but I'll make it comply by going right up close to it. There we go. One! Now, where does this one go to? Let's take a look. Does it go on the inside? No, it goes on the back. So it goes like this. I'm actually really curious what part of the build we're doing right now. I really don't know just yet, but I love seeing what parts we're doing as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Pretty cool stuff. I think you guys are probably around the same thing, right? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you like knowing what you're working on? What part of the build you like working on? Or do you like kind of like making it a little bit of a mystery? Okay, there's a twist. And another little twist there. There we go. That is 15 and 16 in place. Now we move on to the next little bit here. Let's put that down. We're going to grab part 17. Now 17 looks like it's a little bit more intricately bent. I can see that this is a half here, so let's do that. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can take, so we know that this is going to bend, so let's do this. And yeah, let's do that. Okay. I'm just kind of working this right now into place. I should be talking about what I'm doing. So what I'm doing right now is actually I pre-bent the top here a little bit in anticipation of where it's going to be going. And now I'm going to use my other tweezers here to try to set everything into place. This is a staircase kind of formation, so I'm hoping that I bent that enough, but I don't think I did. I might have to go here and just really crank her with this and then work her back a little bit like that. There we go. That looks better. A little bit of a scratch paint move there, but we can make that look a little bit better in post. Okay. You know, there's been some really awesome builders that have been cropping up lately, and I love seeing these new builders been popping up on the Instagram. I do my best to actually try to show off as many different builders as possible because we don't really have a massive community. So every time I see somebody posting something and they've done a really good job, I think it's a good idea to kind of show that off to everyone and let them see and expose the rest of the model world to some other people. So I do my best to show that off. I think some of you guys really appreciate it. I get a lot of comments back from people saying, you know, hey man, thanks for sharing my stuff. And I always love sharing your stuff. So please guys, do me a favor though. I have to search for them. I have to constantly look. If you guys can use the hashtag Groove Builders in your post, it makes it so much easier for me to be able to find your pictures. And that way I can share them in my story. And hopefully you guys can get some more people to subscribe to you and follow you on your Instagram. And we can grow as a community too. Because I tell you, you know, there's some really wicked ideas out there for how to like customize these 3D metal models. And the bigger this community gets, the more talent that we're going to be able to get in here. And I'm really excited to see where this industry is going to be in a few years, especially with the amount of talented people that we have. Okay, there we go. Now we need to do one more of those on the other side. I wasn't going to waste your time with that one. That's what that one looks like. Same thing on the other side. What we're going to do though is make sure we're putting the humps, the bigger part, the little L there, that little L piece there. We're going to make sure that's going towards the inside. We're going to try to be consistent. That's what it looks like on the instructions. So that's what I'm going to follow. Now it's a matter of getting these little tablettos inside of their place. Okay. We got one, but we did not get the other. I will play that game. I need stronger tweezers to be able to do what I want to do with this. And it's so close. It's right there. There we go. I knew it wouldn't be too much of a struggle, but man, that was a pain in the butt a little bit, wasn't it? Okay, now we're going to push them together, do a little twist. Again, being very careful. If you're using a tab bending tool like this, be very careful not to twist too much. You will accidentally break the piece. And that, my friends, is no bueno. Let me just do this real quickly here and fix that like that. We're gonna have to fix this centerpiece, but I don't want to bend it too much right now. When we get everything put together here, we'll really make sure that's straight so that it doesn't get too out of whack. But now we're done our first page. We actually need to move on to our second page. So, okay, now we get to move on to part 18 and 19. These pieces are quite interesting too. Let's pull them out here. So this is 18. Let's take a quick little look here. And this is 19. This is the one's already bent here. So all we're doing is we're going to be following the edges. If you look at the back here, you can see a little bit of what we're supposed to do. But on the front, you can also see some little lines here that we can follow. Be very careful though. I do find this piece to be a little bit weak. I think it's because of all the perforated details. Just be careful, you know, just keep your wits about you. Also too, when it comes to bending this part, I find that the side here wants to bend with it. So if you hold on to one side and then just kind of push it like that, it works out a lot better. Okay, there we go. We're going to grab that one little antenna and we're going to push this up like this. Great. And I believe, yeah, this comes down. Yeah, I think I didn't do that on this one. It comes down. Okay, I think it's like that. Yeah. Alrighty. Now let's put these on. So we take them like these, and the antenna goes on the inside, so that's how you know which one is which. You know, that is a negative thing of taking out all these pieces. Sometimes I do get them mixed up. Some other modelers or some other model kits, they actually have the pieces individually numbered on the piece, which is kind of nice. At the same time though, if you look closely at the builds afterwards, you can see some of the part numbers sometimes, which, you know, again, give and take. Give and take. I like how Piece Cool puts them on their pieces, like on their parts, part sheets. I think that's a really cool way of doing things. Also makes it a lot easier to find stuff. If you're like me and you're looking at a sheet and they have the piece, or sorry, the part number like you see right there on the right, If it's on the sheet, you can just actually just take a look at the part sheet and be like, there it is, as opposed to like searching for it and flipping pages and looking for it for reference and finding it. But all these companies have to be a little bit different. I think it'd be kind of cool to see, like, you know, I personally feel, and this is going to be me giving away something here, but I think it'd be really cool. You know those old school wind-up toys, wind-up Hot Wheels toys you used to get, where you used to wind them like this and they would go? Okay, well, like, why don't we have those for 3D metal models, guys? Like, that'd be so neat, so easy. The little box racers, those are really kind of cool, easy models. And if you put one of those little silly motors in it, I mean, it can't be that hard to mount the dang thing. I don't know, just an idea. Anyway, we got those two little bits of detail added on, and now we can move on to the next little bit of detail, which is part 20. Part 20 is pretty simple to do. It's just a little box. So let's go ahead and take this box here, and we're gonna bend down that one side. Again, going right to the detail line. It's very important that we do that. Okay. And now we're placing it just on here. I actually got to bend this one side down and match it to the detail there on the bottom. I haven't done that yet. I was waiting to see if the detail here was going to matter or not, but it doesn't look like it does. So we can go probably right after this here and just form it. We'll make some really big decisions here. Cool. Okay. So let's take these business makers, bend that down, straight down, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come right here, right to that edge of that detail, which is now harder to do because we put that little bit in there. Grab this little bit here on the end. Look at that, groovers. Yeah, we did it. No big deal. I think we're gonna do the same thing for the other side if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we do. So same thing, right to that edge, straight down. That is not as good as that last one. It's not as defined. Anyway, like that. Take that little bit there. Boom. Very cool. I can't wait to see this thing completely built. You know, I love the space builds. These are my favorite ones. They have so many cool details on them. And this one's really almost reminding me of the Y-Wing with all the little bits of detail that we're forming here. Now that we got this on though, guys, we need to move on to our next little phase here, which is bending this guy right here. This is this little belt. Pretty simple to do, to be honest with you. We're just gonna go right here. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use my bender tool here for this part. Take these guys right to, yeah, let's put this like right about here, I think. Yeah, right about a little more right there. Okay, I'm gonna take this. And we bend it up. Cool. There we go. Now that we got this little piece here, I think that actually looks really good. What we need to do is place this on to part 22. But to do that, we have to form part 22. So let's go ahead and take this little bit of a monstrosity and start hacking away at getting it properly formed. Bending it on the back here, we can see multiple different things that we need to be able to form. And I think the best thing to do is try to figure out exactly how this bends in half. I think that's a very important thing. It's also important to understand that this, like, I think is a gradient piece. So there's multiple levels to go to here. So let's take a quick little look at the instructions and double check our bends before we do anything silly. it looks like, starting from the top, it looks like this guy here goes down. Then these look like they get bent forward. So let's do that. These get bent like this. These get bent like this. So there's that. And now I'm wondering if it goes like this. Yeah, okay, I see. A little confusing, but what we can do is we can do one of these. And again, we're pre-bending a little bit here. I'm pre-bending this little area right here. You can kind of see I'm using the edge as a reference. And I'm praying to God that that's supposed to go there. And same thing with this side here. That looks like it matches, so I'm not too worried about that. Oop, I don't want to push too much on these just yet. So let's get these secured though first. So, all right, trying to grab as much of the tab as possible right now. I got it. I did that one. That one's pretty good. There's like a little rolling motion there, and that kind of really helped me get as much of the tab as possible. Let me see if I can show you what I do from this angle here. So I grab as much of the tab, you can see I'm like flat, and I roll it a little bit, and I'll come back and then I'll flatten it like these. See? And it keeps, there's not really much of a pop back there. There's not much of a pop back. That's what I'm going for. Anyway, now looking at this, it looks like we got to build a pyramid here. So, interesting. This is a cool little bit of detail to form, man. Okay, back a little bit, fit it right in that corner. And then, it was funny too, earlier today I got a challenge from Instagram. One of the many people that I follow, and I'm forgetting your name right now, my friend. I actually try to share his stuff quite often because he does such a good job on a lot of his things he does. Unfortunately though, I think his account is kind of set to where I can't like share it. So I'm gonna have to start taking screenshots and being like, you know what, Sherry, just kidding. Always get permission before I share anyone's stuff, but still, I think it'd be fun to share some more of his stuff because he does a really good job. And I think you'd appreciate this right now too. I lost track of what I was saying there. Sentences get away from me every once in a while. Bend this tab back just a little bit so I can see if I can get this. I think I bent it too much back. She's in. Yeah, look at that. That was beautiful. I did have to move that little bit of a piece there to be able to get her in place. And so that's something to know. I had to move that little bit of detail there. Okay, that's the one side. Now we're going to go to the other side. Oh, I remember now what I was saying. I'm a silly goose. Yeah, so gentleman actually put out a little kind of a game asking, you know, what build is this? And he showed a couple of pictures of just a couple of pieces that he's built so far. And my friends, I mean, I've been building for about, you know, a little bit of time. And while I haven't built a model from every single company, I like to think that my ADHD proves me pretty well to figure out what metal goes with what company. And I knew right away that that was an MU build, buddy. I knew right away, without even looking too much into it. I knew it was an MU build. But the thing is, the new transformer stuff that's hit the market recently from Metal Earth, that was the only thing where it could have been. Like, I think other people saw it that way too, because like it did have a vibe to it that looked like a transformer. So one of those things. But I said it was I thought it was a tank from MU, because they have a StarCraft series from MU, and it's a really cool series, really intricate builds. I think they have stickers on them too, which I think is kind of neat. Definitely old school now when you consider that we have these painted builds like this. And just for the record, there we go. This though, on this corner, I want this to be a little bit more defined. So we're gonna bring in here and we're gonna help it out a little bit. There we go, see? Nice. Now this little piece here, you gotta be careful about because it's very easy to bend. If you bend it too much, it will break. That's not fun, so just keep that in mind. Now that we've done that though, we need to put this part into place. Let's go ahead and do that like these. Did I make you too big? I think I made you too big. Too big or too small? What's going on here? Gino. Okay, I think I have an idea. What I will do, actually, better idea. Let's take this and secure this one side first. There. Now we've secured the one side. It looks like this is like a hell of a smaller. Like, look at this. What is going on here? Okay. There we go. And now I put this like this. Cool. All right. There we go. Mounted. Kind of a weird position, I will say. Did I miss any spaces before I go any further? I don't think I did. I think I did everything correct there. I placed it into here. We have our nice little piece there. I think that's good. I think that's right. I think these back pieces here though are incorrect, but we'll. Oh, okay, I see. They fold in like that. I'm an idiot. And then this piece goes in like that. And the bottom triangles, they didn't tell us what to do with those yet. I don't see them being used yet, at least. Did I miss them? No, they're not being used yet. Okay. As long as they're not being used, I'm okay. All right, enough with the self-doubt. Let's move on to the next little step here, which is part 23. And we're actually moving into the last little part of our video here. Now, part 23, all we're going to be doing, and taking the boba hair away first, that's the most important. We're going to take the sides and bend them down just like this. Come back to the other side and bend this down just like this as well. Now we have this like nice little cube. We're going to take our big old slice of part 24 here. There we go. And if you look on the little part 24, you can actually see a little paint engraving area where this needs to go. And we're going to try to do our best to match that paint as best we can. Again, with this piece, if you don't secure it properly, it will not look right. So really kind of try to do your best to hold it in position before securing the piece. There we go. Awesome. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is taking this little side piece here, pushing it down just like that. Now, the reason why we've done that is because we're going to use it as a reference as we bend these wings down, just like that. If you want to bend something long here, it's best to get right up to that edge and then bend it down in one big go. Just like that. Now the next thing we need to do is grab these little edges down here and bend them down. Now, if you want to, you can actually use the tweezers right here in the center if you have tweezers like mine, and you can use them to help you bend that down. That makes life a little bit easier. Sometimes though, it's just best to grab a little bit like this and kind of work your way down the line. The issue with doing this is you do create sometimes a little bit of warping. So if you get it into the general position that you like, you can go back to it and straighten out the metal down here. Now again, you could also use pliers. Pliers would be a pretty decent way of doing this. But right now I don't have access to my pliers, so we're rocking these guys. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Matched up, really nice. Same thing, grab this side here. Whoopsie. Trying not to scratch the paint as we do this as well. Lift it back out. And yeah, that looks actually pretty good. And we got that little bit of detail secured in there. And now though, what we need to do is add another little bit of detail on here before we get all a little crazy. And that's this guy right here, part 28. Now looking at part 28, it's a funky little piece. And I think what we need to do is take a look at the insertion hole that we got to put everything into. Now looking at this, you can see that we need to fold these little pieces up. So referencing the instructions here, what I'm going to do is take it like this. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oopsie. Okay, so we're actually putting on the wrong side there. It's important to make sure they're putting it on the right side. So the reference photo here shows me that the non-engraved side, which is this side right here, is on this. And so this does actually need to go. Okay, I actually was doing it right then. There we go. A little bit of detail added on there. Now what we need to do is just kind of put all these little guys together. I went ahead and actually added the detail from the other piece that we've done before. Like I said, I try to do my best to keep the repeat details down to an all-time minimum. So let's go ahead and now put these little dudes together, making sure that we put them into the right location. I think that's the most important thing to do. Now let me just take a quick little look. It looks like they fit right into here. Okay. What is this nonsense? Like, what? It would have made more sense for me to wait to bend the edges down until the end and then match everything up. Just saying. But this works. Okay. Now we're going to take this, press it down. Same thing. Press it down. Same thing here at the top. Boom. Now we're going to try to do the other side here without doing too much damage. Uh-oh. No, we're okay. I think. Make sure. No, we are not okay. Dang it. Okay. Well, we had to go back here real quickly. So let me explain what I did wrong here. What I didn't realize was that this can go on multiple ways, and one of them can be the wrong way. So now I gotta do one of these silly maneuvers here where I gotta get the pieces out. But all I gotta do is get one side, and if I get one side, the rest should come right out like that. Now, let's talk about what I learned. This right here, this little bit of detail needs to go on the left side. And we also need to have the little break here, that little cutaway needs to be on the left side too. You can see the top here has no cutaway. Sorry, the bottom here has no cutaway. The top here does. So that's important. And I had the wrong piece in the wrong part. That's why we had to take that apart right there. So don't be me. Double check your work. Okay, now we have this on the proper way. Let's grab the other little part here. Here, make sure these connections are really nice and strong. But there we go. All right, we have all of our pieces completed. Now what we need to do is get some more parts, but that will be in another video. Groovers, I really hope you've had a good time putting all these little bits here together with me. And if you guys have had a good time, don't forget to press that like button there. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well, as we got all kinds of cool projects just like this that we're gonna be building together. Until next time, Groovers, keep building.